Is this live, y'all? Oh, thank you guys for being so patient and waiting. I appreciate y'all. We were just on Total Student Transformation Coaching, talking all things studying, and we ended up talking some pre-med stuff. So I'm excited to hop on here with you guys. Everybody hear me loud and clear coming through 2020-40-40. Tonight, we're going to be talking about med school application rejection. You applied to medical school, you got rejected. Oh my gosh, it feels terrible. You feel hopeless. I got an email from a student, soul crushing, Steve emailed me. So I'm going to read Steve's email for you guys, and we're going to break down what it means to get rejected from medical school and what you have to do to get back on track, to drop the hopelessness and to get into medical school. So I'm excited for this. Let's hit the intro and let's get right at it, y'all. If you guys, listen to me. If you were rejected from medical school, if you are concerned about your application to medical school, comment in the box what you're most concerned about. And if you have any questions about the application that we can get to tonight, put that in the box right now while we hit this intro, y'all.
What I teach you guys is transformation. If you didn't dominate, changes need to be made. So I give you guys entire systems that make you new. But stop making excuses, stop whining, right? Get at it. No excuses, just dominate.
All right, y'all, we are live action, and we are talking about med school rejections, y'all. Oh, you applied to medical school, you got rejected. And this video came up because I had a student who emailed me, and I wanted to address his concern, but also address the broader concerns that come with being rejected. And so first, we're going to start by reading his email. And now you guys know that I'm technologically challenged, so we're going to try. I'm not even going to try to share it. I'm just going to read it to you. You guys ready? Good afternoon, Dr. P. I hope you and your family are doing well. I just found out yesterday that I did not get into the only med school that I received an interview from. I know we talked about it, but it still hurts. On top of that, I was fired from my full-time job about 5 minutes before I was rejected. I feel lost. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my life. I don't know why I was created. I don't feel like I'm good at anything, and I don't feel like I have a purpose. I don't have the same passion for medicine that I used to. I used to consider Caribbean medical schools as an option, but like I said, I'm not so passionate about medicine like I used to. I don't want to apply again. I'm going to apply to pharmacy school and hopefully find my purpose there. I understand you are very busy, Dr. P, but if we could talk, I'd really appreciate it. Respectfully, Steve. Okay? So first, let's say this. Everyone right now, understand that having doubts, having negative feelings is a part of being human. We doubt ourselves. We question ourselves. We question our purpose. Why am I here? What am I doing? Am I meant to be doing this? That's part of being human. And so I want you guys to take a second, and I want you to comment in the box and let Steve know that he's not the only person who's ever questioned their whole being, who's never had a moment like this, a moment of pure crises, of identity, of everything, so that Steve doesn't feel alone. I want you guys to comment in the box right now. Let Steve know he's not the only one who's ever had a crisis of conscience, crisis of identity, a crisis in their lives where they question everything, a shakeup, right? Because as you guys can hear in the email, Steve is devastated. And for many of you guys, you've been through a moment of devastation like this. Maybe not to the degree of, oh, I didn't get into medical school, which has been my goal for forever, but we have to talk about that. And the reason I first want to address the hopelessness aspect of this, and we're going to get to the application stuff, but we first must address this hopelessness, right? Like I don't have a passion for medicine. I don't know what I'm put on this earth to do. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know all those things. It's so important that we address this, because if I were to ask you, are you a pre-med? If you're watching this video, you're gonna be like, yes, I'm a pre-med. The problem is we incorrectly, once we become a pre-med, and we start saying to ourselves, we're a pre-med, we start telling everyone we're a pre-med, that our identity becomes that of a pre-med. And we don't recognize that a pre-med is actually nothing. Being pre-med means you are pre-medical school, meaning you have the intention to go to medical school, right? It is a signifier of what you intend to do, but it doesn't say anything about you as a person. And for too many of you guys, you base your entire identity off being a pre-med. Meaning, if something positive happens in pre-med land, you feel good. Something negative happens in pre-med land, you feel terrible. Who's there with me right now? Even if you're not applying, who's there with me right now and understands this? Your identity is wrapped up in being pre-med. And the warped part about this is that when you say you are pre-med to yourself, to other people, to your family, to other pre-meds, in our minds, we immediately say future doctor. And then that future part just drops out and becomes doctor. And in our minds, we start seeing ourselves as a doctor, right? And you guys all know my story of my counselor in college telling me I could never go to medical school, I'll never get in. And it hit me so hard, and it was the moment of death, of devastation that Stephen is talking about right now, because my entire identity, in my mind, I was literally already a doctor. I had seen myself as it. I might have envisioned myself in a white coat. I might have envisioned myself saving the patient, doing the chest compressions. That was my identity. I had fast forwarded already in my head and told myself I'm a doctor. So I saw myself as this doctor. And so when this moment happened, it was devastating because it truly, ripped my identity from me. And for many of you guys as pre-meds, that's how letdowns, that's how setbacks, that's how obstacles feel to you, that someone's literally telling you you aren't who you think you are. And if you aren't who you think you are, if you don't have that identity, then who the hex are you? Do you guys hear what I'm saying to you right now? This is a bigger thing I'm talking about. How many of you guys as pre-meds, whether you've applied already or you're planning on applying, how many of you guys feel hopeless? Let me read it again. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my life. I don't know why I was created. I don't feel like I'm good at anything. I don't feel like I have a purpose. I don't have the same passion for medicine. I don't know how many of you guys, when something goes wrong in pre-med land, everything is lost? Because that is your identity. Yes? Okay, I see people lighting the box up. Thank you, Bradford. Recognize you are you. And whether you succeed as a pre-med and you get to medical school or not, you still have value. You still are good at things. But too often we put all of our value in a superficial identity. And this is what happens to students, right? Who are like, oh man, I'm just going to settle for being a nurse. I'm just going to settle for this. Here you have a student who was going to medical school and I was like, I'm just going to go to pharmacy school and hopefully find my purpose there. You have people who are passionate about nursing, passionate about getting a degree in public health, who are passionate about physical therapy, passionate about something other than medicine, who won't pursue it because their entire identity is tied up in pre-med, is tied up in being a doctor. And they think that anything else is not them, is below them, is beneath them. And it's a big problem. And so what I want to first address with you guys is, you must separate your aspirations from your being and your worth. And recognize that if you are putting in your best efforts and you are doing your best to make those best efforts better, and you are doing everything you can to be informed about your goal, you are a person of value. You are a person of substance, whether it pans out or not. Whether you have a bad day or a good day, every day should be a good day. It should be a win because you say, listen, even though I failed today, even though I struggled today, even though today sucked, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm on my path. I'm doing what I can. I'm making moves. And I bring this up, guys, because for so many of you guys, you are stagnant. You are moving backwards because you are looking at things all wrong. You are allowing one thing that goes wrong to sidetrack everything. And when it comes to being rejected from medical school, this comes to a head because this was the moment. This was your moment. I can't tell you how many conversations I have with students who get rejected from medical school and then are scared to tell their parents they got rejected from medical school. Are scared to tell their friends they got rejected from medical school. Why? Because they're worried about people judging them. They're worried about the fact they told everyone they were going to medical school, and now people are going to look at them and say, oh, I knew you couldn't do it. Oh, you're nothing. Oh, you're not the doctor you said you were. They're worried about that because that's their identity they're tied up in. Recognize, guys, You getting rejected from medical school has nothing to do with your value as a person, and more importantly, with your potential as a person. And a rejection from medical school does not mean you weren't meant to be a doctor. Does not mean you can't be a doctor. What it means is you currently are not ready to be in a medical school. You currently are not perceived to be a med school worthy candidate at this moment. But that's okay. Because the truth is, and hear me now, y'all, write it down. Actually, comment in the box so everybody sees it. Anyone can get into medical school. Anyone can get into medical school. Anyone. ... But not everyone will. Why? Because the only people who don't get into medical school are people who quit on themselves. This is true, right? Purple Dawn just put in the box. I have friends who got in on the 3rd try. I know people who got in on the 5th try, 6th try, whatever. If you want to become a doctor, if you feel in your heart that it is really your purpose, stop at nothing. Don't reject yourself. Don't quit on yourself. Keep pursuing medicine. Because as someone who had many a time where I doubted myself, where I wanted to quit, where I felt like I was less than, I was not worth it, what is my purpose? I'm not good at anything. Those moments, I now, right, as a physician, someone who went to Stanford, became an anesthesiologist, look back at those moments, and it's some of the best memories I have because the gap from where I am today and what I thought was possible in those moments is laughable. It's literally laughable because I was like, oh man, I'm the worst. Oh gosh, I'm the dumbest kid ever. Oh, how could I ever have thought I was gonna be a doctor? And now I'm a doctor and I'm an amazing doctor and I teach people how to get into medical school and I live the life that I never would have dreamed of this happening. Never would have dreamed of it. But it happened. I stayed the course. I pushed through those moments of doubt and despair and devastation. And I said, I'm gonna do it anyway. And for all of you guys, recognize and shift your perspective to say that a stumble, a failure, a rejection is not permanent, is not a reflection on me and my value and potential as a person. Instead, it's a reflection of where I am today, and it's just a marker, a symbol, an opportunity to improve myself, to try again, to try better and be successful, and to make my dreams a reality. And Antonio, I'm so proud. Antonio's been with me for forever. I'm so proud. Antonio just said I just got accepted this week after 4 years of rejections. And I'm proud of him for staying persistent, for getting it done as a non-traditional, right? Getting it done and getting into medical school. That's what it's about. And as I say all this, I got so excited to talk about that, I forgot what I was going to lead off with, which is to put rejection to medical school in context now. Way back in my day, before I grayed my beard and I applied to medical school, a rejection to medical school was looked at like a death sentence. It was said that if you applied and didn't get into medical school, you were not fit to be a doctor. And while that was not exactly accurate, it was more accurate back then because of the way admissions worked. Today, a rejection can be meaningless. Why? Because the current state of med school admissions is a train wreck. Train wreck. Okay? I was just talking to someone last week who was talking about how this is a major, and I don't want to out the university. It's a major university, right, that everyone want to go to. It's a top 10 program in the country. And this top 10 program in the country, literally, their admissions panel, because of COVID and distance and jobs changing and whatever, their admissions committee went from being dozens of people to being 2 main people doing reviewing. And yes, the committee's bigger than that, but they had 2 people reviewing the heart of all the applications. That would be problematic in a normal old school cycle, but it's even more problematic now because with the world being in chaos, people are in a rush to apply to medical school. They feel like they have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And so you have a large number of people who are not qualified applying for medical school. And the result is a huge increase in the number of applications, coupled with a huge decrease in the infrastructure for reviewing applications. And so supply, right, and the ability to handle that supply of applications is completely skewed. And so what happens now is there are many applications that don't get the same thorough review they used to get. They get a cursory review. And as a result, there are applications that are wonderfully qualified, that are acceptable, that don't even get the same consideration they would have got 5, 6 years ago. It's the imbalance in admissions right now. It's kind of a scattershot. It's making it more random, more chance-oriented than it used to be. Does that make sense to everybody? If you guys are still with me 15 minutes in, like this video right now. Let me know you guys are understanding what I'm saying. There's value to this video, and you appreciate me staying here instead of talking, hang out with my kids right now. It's bedtime for them. Like the video right now. We are live action, so I'm going to drink water. I was coaching for 2 hours before I got on here with my TSC students, so let me drink some water and be part. My dinner is sitting here getting cold. Shannon brought me chicken a while ago. It's just sitting here getting cold while I coach you guys. Okay? So, medical school admissions is all over the place. So now, with that being said, we recognize that the medical school admissions process is scattershot and random and could be potentially way off. We couple that with saying, listen, then, if it's random and scattershot anyway, even in a medical school sense, it may not mean very much. But I also want you guys to separate yourselves from the result and say, listen, it's just what it is today, and I can make moves for it. So does that make sense to everybody? So now we have a lens to look at our rejection, to say, listen, it could be totally random, or it could be due to something, but even if it's due to something, some flaw, and as I'm currently constructed, I can fix it, because it's my application, it's not me. Okay? So now, if we are there at that crossroads, we want to ask ourselves one key question. Hey, is this due to the chance? Am I a competitive applicant? Or do I need to do work? And for some of you guys, the answer may be no. I've done everything I can. I submitted an outstanding application. I feel good about it. And so you immediately reapply. In the past, I would give this advice. But now, because it's so random, there are many students who I'm like, no, just reapply. Just reapply. You're fine. You're good. Reapply. And I've seen students in the last couple of years, right? So go back 2 cycles. I had students who apply and didn't get in. I'm like, this is crazy. There's no way. So I had a student who applied, didn't get any interview invites. None. I said, no, something's wrong. Reapply. She reapplied this cycle, and now she got into a handful of schools. How does that happen? How do you go from getting no interviews to a handful of schools? It's random and chance and flukes. We didn't really change anything in our application. So we have to understand that. So some of you guys understand, have I done everything I could possibly do to get competitive for medical school? If I've done that, reapply and reapply confidently. It's okay. If, on the other hand, you look at your application and you can have an honest conversation with yourself and say, you know what? When I went into this cycle, I was really concerned about blank. This is that moment where when you say, I'm a little concerned about blank, that you should go, I'm a lot concerned about blank. You know what? My MCAT score was 499. I was concerned it might be too low. Now it's not a little concern. It should be, no, I need to fix that. I need to make that 499, 505. And I'm going to take the time that's required to study and get that score up. Maybe it's, you know what? My GPA is 3.3. Yes, that is in range, but given the inordinate amount of applications and the fact that they're not going to look deeply into my GPA, they're just going to see the raw number, it would behoove me to improve that GPA and spend the time and the money, if I have it, to do a post-bac program, to get my grades right. Does that make sense? Have the honest conversation. Say, listen, was there anything in my application that could have been an issue? And then fix that issue. And when I say fix that issue, I'm going to follow that up by telling you, take the time to fix that issue. Because, and this student was just on TST coaching, our study group, and it was funny because he was like, you know, one of the things I really struggle with is taking my time and doing what's required. And for so many of us, right, we're in such a rush, right? Again, that goes back to what I was saying in the beginning, right? That pre-med is our identity. We see ourselves as a doctor, so all we want to do is rush and become a doctor. And we don't want to take the time to do what's required to become that doctor. Now's the time. You've been rejected. It's the wake-up call. It's the brick of devastation. Bam! A brick hit me in the face. I got to wake up and I got to fight now. I got to do the work for my dream. And I want you guys all, if you need work, take the time to get that work done. If you need to take a year and take classes, if you need to take 2 years and take classes, do it. If you need to take 6 months, 9 months, 12 months for the MCAT, do it. If you need help studying for the MCAT, click below, guys. Check out my MCAT training, check out my MCAT course, check out those MCAT resources for you there, right? If you need to fix your grades, right? I have all my study resources, but fix the issues with your application. This student, because I know him, applied to medical school without a letter of recommendation from a physician. So when they talk about, listen, I know we talked about this, but it still hurts. What he's talking about is the fact that I told him he's not going to get in this cycle because he didn't have a letter of recommendation from a physician, which is key and crucial right now in medical school admissions, guys, because clinical experience matters. Because with so many people applying and so many qualified people applying, what they're really looking for are people who know what being a doctor is, who know the sacrifice, who know what the grind is. And the only way you can do that is by having clinical experience. And then by having a physician say, you know what, I'm a physician. That character right there, Steve, would be an excellent physician. So in Steve's case, he's got to go get more clinical experience and get that physician letter of recommendation, that stamp seal of approval, and that will dramatically improve Steve's chances of getting accepted. Now, can Steve clinically volunteer for 5 minutes? Maybe, and get a letter of recommendation, but maybe it's going to take him 6 months. So maybe he should take this cycle off and apply next cycle. But by having that, then he can go into next cycle feeling more confident, feeling ready, feeling like I put my best foot forward to be successful, to make this retry my only reapplication. Does that make sense, guys? Don't be in a rush to get rejected. And that's often the biggest reason students get rejected is they just rushed. They knew they had more work to do, but they weren't willing to spend the time. And now they get rejected. And they're like, oh, I don't understand why this happened. No, we know. You know. But can we be honest with ourselves? Yes, yes. Is that making sense to everybody? My throat is super dry, guys. Okay. Next up, I see a question here. I'm going to start answering these questions here in the box. Thank you guys for asking questions. We are live action, y'all. Dr. Pinesett here. If this is your first time with me, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on live notifications so you can always get this stuff so you can know when we're going live action. Oh, and I love this, Spencer. So you guys know, let me see how I do this. Anyone can get into medical school if you pay the price. Not everyone's price is the same, but if you pay your price, you will get in. I love that. Because so often, guys, we compare ourselves to other people. Oh, well, so-and-so did this and they got in. Oh, so-and-so got in with that. Med school admissions is not fair. And the second you get that in your head, your life is so much better. Because if you recognize that and you acknowledge that, then you understand what's really going on. We can deal in reality. Anyone can get a medical school, but we've got to pay our price, and our individual prices may be more. You may have to start medical school later. You may have to jump through more hoops, whatever it is. But if it's really your dream, guys, jump through the hoops. Get it done. Thank you, Spencer, for sharing that. Right? Karen says this. Dr. P, I love it. Thank you for speaking on this necessary topic. I'm taking the perspective that the more I think, I fail. It's all good because it's just another lesson in strength and perseverance. And so for a lot of you guys, right, you overthink, you obsess, you overanalyze, and it paralyzes you. And that's what we're talking about. You take one thing and you don't see it for what it is. Just, man, shoot. It's just a fail for the moment, right? It's just a setback. It's just this. We blow it up. We snowball it, right? This Steven said, okay, listen, I got rejected, but on top of that, I got fired from my full-time job 5 minutes before I was rejected. Oh my gosh, I'm not good at anything. I've got no worth. I've got no purpose, right? All these things. We do that to ourselves. We snowball it. No, guys, it's just a blip. Move forward. I'm reading comments, y'all. We live. If you still with me, still live action, like the video right now. Okay, question is, what do you mean by reapply? Do you mean reapplying to the same school during the same cycle? I'm not tracking. No. What I'm saying is this cycle is closed. It's done. It's March. But when I say reapply right away, I mean reapply for the next cycle. So in June, you're going to resubmit your application. Maybe you tweak it up a little bit, right? And then you resubmit it. I mean, you don't do additional coursework or whatever. You just reapply. Fix it up a little bit and then reapply the next cycle. Applying right now in March is a waste of money if you're applying this cycle. Thank you, Purple. Yes, my MCAT course is the truth, y'all. Check it out. Okay, Lou says I'm on track. I like it. Rachel, I have several videos on Caribbean schools on my YouTube channel, so check those out, please. I have tons of them, right? You guys should get used to binging my content. You guys should be treating my channel like YouTube or like Netflix, scrolling through and saying, oh wait, I need to learn this, and get all this good content in you. But in short, Rachel, my big thing about Caribbean schools is there's no problem with going to Caribbean school as long as you are qualified to be a medical student. And the big problem with Caribbean schools is that they're not very selective. Let me say it differently. They're not as selective. And as such, there's a larger chance that you may be admitted to a Caribbean school and not actually be competent and be able to hang academically. And as a result, you go there, you take all these loans, and then you get kicked out of school, and now you're left with tons of loans, kicked out of school, and you're like, what happened? Well, what happened was you weren't ready to deal. So as long as you're ready to succeed and be excellent, it's a just a fine path. It's fine. So yeah, so look at those videos and see all the different nuances of what I talk about for Caribbean schools. Okay? Everybody, did this video make sense? I know like we're kind of dragging on. I'm going longer. We're at 27 minutes. And I'll do more videos. If you guys want me to talk more about application and reapplying, applying right the first time and so forth, comment in the box, let me know, and I'll do more videos. Ask your questions. I'm going to start doing more of these, what are they called? The YouTube shorts or whatever, answering you guys' questions, giving you guys that information you guys want. So please take the time, ask these questions, put things in the box you want me to do videos on. I'll make sure I do them. And as Antonio said, look at your application through a truthful lens, not through a hopeful, oh, I'm the exception lens. Be truthful, okay? In addition, excuse me, because my throat is dry. I want to put this out there. I'm going to have an upcoming training, a masterclass, where I'm going to spend substantial amounts of hours in this training walking you guys through the personal statement. So the training's gonna be anywhere from like 4 to 5 hours, where I'm gonna walk you guys through the mechanisms step by step of developing your personal statement, getting your personal statement right. I'm gonna show you some examples of personal statements to make you guys successful. So if you were like, man, Dr. P, I'm applying this year and I want to know everything there is to know about the personal statement, and I want to have you walk me through by the hand through the personal statement and how to execute it so I can execute my personal statement to perfection. This is the training for you guys. It's my personal statement perfection. It's how to write the perfect personal statement. I'm having this training coming up in 2 weeks, so be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna put a link in the box. It's not in there yet because I haven't gone live yet. I'm gonna put a link in the box yet. So if you guys are watching this after the fact, or if you're watching it live, check back tomorrow. If you're watching after the fact, the link should be there in the box below for you guys to register and enroll for this training, all about the personal statement, to help get you guys there, right? Because I'm always here to help you guys, right, in an affordable way, but giving you guys effective, actual expertise to help you guys be successful. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hope you guys will be joining me on Wednesdays. I will always be either live or uploading something new for you guys. Hope you guys will be checking out the podcast. If you're listening to this after the fact on the podcast, hello. Take a second, guys, leave a review, because I do select certain reviews to read live, to read in the recordings, and to give away free courses, free coaching, and so forth. So take the time, guys, and leave those reviews. And thank you guys so much for joining me. As always, guys, as we talked about today, right? There's going to be hurdles. There's going to be obstacles. Right now, Steven has a big, fat excuse for why they should quit their pursuit of medical school. But I want to encourage you guys. Don't quit. Don't succumb to the excuses, to the obstacle. Rise above. Regroup and rise above and charge forward with more zeal, with more zest, with more desperation to escape the devastation, right, and find your greatness, y'all. So keep going. No excuses. Just dominate, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Later. That's it for another episode of the Study Doc Show. Show your love by smashing the like button and commenting in the box below. Today is the day, guys. No more excuses, no more complaining. You're going to take your future into your own hands. You're going to dominate. You're going to be successful. I challenge you. What are you going to do today to make your life better? Get to my website, thestudydoc.com. Grab a free ebook, sign up for a free webinar, and if you're really ready to transform, enroll in one of my life-changing courses or coaching programs. You have greatness inside you. Let me show you how to unlock it so you can dominate and make your dreams a reality. No excuses, just dominate.